Welcome to Hannity, a massive rally being planned less than 2 weeks from today to call on lawmakers in Washington to delay the implementation of Obamacare. Organizers of the event are calling it Exempt America. Take a look.
Obamacare is headed for disaster. Even the chief architect of the law admits it is headed off a cliff.
I just see a huge train wreck.
Democrats rushed the bill into law without consent of the American people. They had to pass the bill to find out what's in it. So what is the president's solution to keep his signature legislation from derailing off the track? Exemptions. He's exempted big business by unilaterally delaying the employer mandate. The IRS chief says the IRS union doesn't want Obamacare. Even the authors of the law, Congress, and their staff are getting special treatment. It seems like everyone has gotten waivers except the American people. If it isn't good enough for them, it's not good enough for us. 52% of Americans don't want the law. Only 12% support the individual mandate. And yet, congressional Republicans are not acting to prevent the coming disaster. We must delay the implementation of Obamacare, and that means defunding the law. On September 10th, Congress is back in session, and so are we.
Joining us now, one of the organizers of that rally, JennyBeth Martin. She's co-founder of Tea Party Patriots. And I'm also joined by Democratic strategist and former advisor to Bill Clinton, Carrie Wofford. Welcome to you both. Carrie, now you just watched that, and I can't, in good conscience, let's pretend there's no camera here, just the two of us talking, we're at dinner. You can't disagree with a single word of that. If Obamacare is such a great law, then why is everyone getting exemptions? Why are the unions? The AFL-CIO is about to get a big carve-out. Why do they need those carve-outs? And why aren't you getting one?
There was so much in that was actually factually wrong. And is it John Adams who said facts are stubborn things? Let's not forget that 95% of employers who have more than 50 employees already offer health insurance voluntarily because that's what the market demands. And they're going to continue to do that. So to say that big employers aren't covered is ridiculous. This is the basis.
No.
Of the
It doesn't say they're not
Obamacare.
covered. It said they just got an exemption. Hold on. They just said it said something that's factually true. They got an exemption from the mandate. Individuals didn't get it. Big business got it. That's not defensible.
So let's remember. So what happened was there are some employers who do not offer insurance. So 95% do offer it. They didn't request any delay. They're all set. Life continues as normal for most Americans. 5% asked the White House for a little extra time. The White House, knowing that there was extra time for the individual mandate, said, okay, fine, we don't need to fight with you. You need a little extra time to get organized. That's fine. Again, it's a tiny fraction of employers.
Okay, so that's exactly the point, JennyBeth Martin. It is a tiny fraction. It's the politically well-connected. It's people who've contributed to Democratic campaigns. It's people who know somebody. It's patronage. It's very old-fashioned. Are you going to get an exemption? Are you going to try? JennyBeth Martin?
I'm not getting an exemption. I'm trying to get an exemption for the entire country. Big business did get a delay, and Obama announced that delay through a tweet. He just changed the law by the stroke of a pen. We're not following the rule of law right now in our country, and that's wrong. Big business got a delay. The presidents of three of the largest labor unions have said this law will shatter their employees' health care and destroy the 40-hour work week. If it's not good for them, it isn't good for the rest of America either.
Well, that's a really good point, Carrie. Our laws are supposed to apply to everybody, not just people dumb and poor and not well connected, but everybody. Why not make Obamacare apply to everybody equally?
So it does. So let's remember that. What are the major parts of Obamacare?
That's silly.
The major parts are no more kids with pre-existing conditions being denied coverage.
All right.
The major parts are moms not being kicked off because they got pregnant.
Come on, can we just deal in facts? No, hold on. You began with a lecture about how facts are stubborn things, right? The oft-repeated quote. It does not apply equally to everybody. The president did exempt business from the mandate. There are individuals in corporations.
He gave a delay.
Yeah, he gave a delay.
That's an important distinction.
Okay, it's a temporary exemption, but it's not applying equally to everybody. Bottom line, why can't you just acknowledge that it's true, it's flawed?
This is a tiny fraction. This 5% of employers. Most employers have insurance. For most of Americans, insurance goes on as it always has. You get it at work. Now, there were always people who didn't have insurance. The Wall Street Journal today profiled 2 Americans who don't have insurance now, but as of October 1st, they can through these state extensions.
And I'm
they
sure
can
they're
go to
very grateful.
healthcare.gov. No, listen, one is a 59-year-old woman and a condition that leaves them in real trouble trying to get health insurance on their own. But as of October 1st, she's able to get insurance.
JennyBeth Martin, do you have any hope that the Congress will act on your plea and defund Obamacare?
I think that if Congress looks and realizes, and the American people realize, that Congress and the members of their staff, Congress and their staff have now been exempted from those exchanges that Carrie was just talking about. If those exchanges are so great, why don't members of Congress and their staff want to live under them? They don't want to because they know that the outcome under those exchanges will not be as good as their current health insurance.
It's a great question, but you can also ask the question, if organized labor is so great, if belonging to a union is so great, why isn't the White House staff unionized? Why aren't congressional staffers unionized? Because they realize it would make their lives difficult, just like Obamacare would. I mean, it's a totally two-tiered system where the rest of us get the shaft and the powerful and well-connected get to do what they want. And that is true. JennyBeth, I live there. I see it every day. You don't, Carrie?
I live here, too. Listen, JennyBeth, you might be slightly behind on the news. The Office of Personnel Management has ruled that congressional staff and members of Congress will go into the state exchanges. So it is applying to Congress. And again, large employers are already covered, already offering insurance.
When did they rule on this? Did they rule on this in the last week? Because we are still going to be getting $5,000 or $11,000 of our taxpayer money to keep the insurance that they currently have. Yeah, they want to take our taxpayer money and implement this law and make us live under it, even though they're not willing to. They have an exemption now, and we don't.
All right,
that's no longer true.
Ladies, I'm sorry to cut. We're going to have to leave it here. I feel like we've made a little bit of headway with you, Carrie. But unfortunately, we're out of time. Thanks for joining us, both of you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Up next.